Hey guys, I'm Hako and I'd like to give some tips on Pokemon who evolve using happiness. Happiness is a sort of hidden stat in Pokemon that every Pokemon has, but only a select few actually evolve from it. I just want to point out that this mechanic or feature of happiness has been around since Gen 1, so most people already know how it works, but for those of you who may just be starting on Sword and Shield, I'd just like to help you guys out. So which Pokemon in Sword and Shield evolve with happiness and how do we do it? Well, we have Togepi, Pichu, Munchlax, Woobat, Cleffa, and type Null. And all 6 of these Pokemon evolve just by maxing out their happiness. There aren't any other requirements. In previous games, we would do this by giving Pokemon haircuts or feeding them puffins. But in Sword and Shield, it's much easier, but just kind of tedious and a little boring. The first couple things you're going to want to know is where to find the item Soothbell and the kid that rates your Pokemon's happiness. Both can actually be found in Hammerlock in the same building. So once you head over to Hammerlock, head over to the building of the right of the Pokemon Center, and once you walk in, you'll notice that the kid is to the right and the girl in the back is who gives you the Soothbell. So the reason why this kid is kind of important is because he can rate each individual's Pokemon's happiness. And that's just helpful because it helps you gauge how much longer you have until you reach that max happiness and your Pokemon's ready to evolve. Now the girl in the back, once you get the Soothbell, you just basically give that item to the Pokemon you're trying to evolve. So in this terms, I can put it on Togepi. And now the process of Togepi gaining happiness is much faster than, say, Pichu and Munchlax, just because of that item itself. So it is pretty helpful in the long run. So now that we have the Soothbell, we can head over to the Pokemon camp, which can just be found in your menu right below your Pokemon tab. And this is just the fastest way to raise a Pokemon's happiness, is in this camp. All you have to do is look at a Pokemon, call them over, they'll run over to you, and you just bring out a toy and play with them. And like I said earlier, it does get really boring and kind of tedious because you just kind of stand here spamming the A button. But it's still the fastest way in Pokemon Sword and Shield to raise a Pokemon's happiness. And you can do it up to 6 Pokemon. So if you look over, I have the rest of the party over there. And yeah, you just kind of do this for each one until they have a they don't want to play anymore, essentially. So I did already play with Cleffa and Eevee a bit earlier. See, here we go. So she has a music note now. So that means they don't really want to play anymore. They're more hungry. So once they get to this point, and you want to do this to all of them. So Eevee, Cleffa just had a food icon pop up. And once you get to that point, it's time to cook some food. And the reason why food is important is because you get a decent amount of XP through cooking food. And the XP is important because you want them to obviously level up and evolve. So it doesn't really have to matter what they eat. You can just put whatever random stuff. And no matter what you do, it will be enough for them to get XP and happiness. So now that my nasty food is finished, it's going to have this little cutscene. They're going to be so excited to eat that nasty food. But in the long run, guess what? They all get XP and they get friendlier towards you. So long as you see that message below where it says your Pokemon gained XP points, Pichu and the rest of your party got friendly towards you. It worked. So you're good. It's, I think, pretty much impossible to fail at this point. And once you eat your food and everyone's all happy, it resets the amount of times you can play with the Pokemon. So I can call over, who was it? Cleffa, who was hungry and didn't want to play earlier. Come on, there we go. And we'll start playing again. Let me see if I can also do this. I got it to work earlier. So once you call another Pokemon over, you have to like try to keep both of them there, and you can actually have both of them play at the same time. So I've never tried 3 before. Let me try 3. Come here, Eevee. No. No. Alright, let's try Him. Nope. Stay here. Stay here. No. All right. Well, it could be possibly be done more than 2, but I usually am able to get 2 without a problem. So it's just a quicker way. It's a little pro tip for you guys. So once you feel like you've camped and grinded enough, you can finally back out, and it'll let you know that your Pokemon enjoyed camping and gained some XP points. So most of the time, depending who you ended up playing with, they'll level up between 2 to 5 times, depending, I guess, how much you grinded out. And so that's really good, just to seeing like if one of them is going to evolve or not. And most likely, like I said, most of these Pokemon only take about 2 to 5 camping trips, if you want to call that, like camping sessions where you play with them, cook, and then reset. And I guarantee you most of them will have evolved by then. One thing that I'd like to point out is that Pokemon can lose happiness, and how they basically lose happiness is just you allowing them to faint in battle. So long as you're just sticking to the Pokemon camp, you won't really run into this problem. But if you're not really sticking to that strategy, and you're just battling most of the time and maybe using camp here and there, you might find it taking you a bit longer than usual. Now you guys pretty much know how to evolve Pokemon with happiness and what the fastest way is. All that I pretty much have left for you is to tell you which Pokemon in Sword and Shield actually evolved this way. And the team that I have right now, the 6 in this party, all evolved through happiness, but just off of maxing their happiness. So Pichu into Pikachu, Munchlax into Snorlax, Woobat into evolved form of Woobat, I forget his name, Cleffa into Clefairy, Type Null into I forget his name too, whatever, Togepi into Togetic, which I already evolved into Togetic during the making of this video. So these are just the generic max them out, spam it in Pokemon Camp, and you'll get all of them to evolve. So this next set of Pokemon also needs to max out their happiness to evolve, but they kind of have a twist to it. Their requirement is both maxing out happiness and it being daytime. Eevee has an exception. Eevee had, well, almost 3 exceptions. Eevee has both a day and night form and a 3rd type of happiness evolution that requires a certain move, but we'll get to that. So if it's during the day, Eevee will evolve into Espeon, and these 2 Pokemon will also evolve so long as you have their happiness maxed out and it's during the day. The nighttime Pokemon are pretty easy because there's only 2 of them. So Eevee with max happiness at night becomes Umbreon instead of Espeon, and Snom as well evolves at night. Last but not least, we have Sylveon. Now, if you haven't played Pokemon X and Y on the 3DS, you're probably wondering how to get this Pokemon, and it's a bit complicated, but it's not too hard to achieve. So all you need to do is catch an Eevee and have Eevee know a fairy type move. And Eevee actually learns Baby Doll Eyes at level 15. So it's, so long as you catch an early level Eevee, you won't have a problem. Just level him up to at least level 15. And if you caught an Eevee who doesn't have Baby Doll Eyes, that's not level 15, that maybe level 16 or 17, you can just go to any Pokemon Center and talk to the guy on the left counter, and he'll be able to remember a move for your Pokemon. So in my case, I already know Baby Doll Eyes, so the move won't pop up in the list. But if I didn't have that, it would be up on this list. So it's pretty simple. And then once you teach them that move, don't change it. Level them up in the Pokecamp and just do what you did with all the other Pokemon with happiness. And it kind of goes both ways though. If you do have Baby Doll's Eyes and you're trying to get Espeon or Umbreon, most likely it will, or I don't want to say most likely, and definitely it's going to evolve into Sylveon instead because it knows that move. So make sure your Eevee that you're trying to get to become Espeon or Umbreon doesn't know Baby Doll Eyes. But other than that, that's all you really need to know. I hope these tips helped, and I know most people already know how this works, but I'm just looking out for the newer players, and I just want people to have fun. So have fun with the game, evolve a few Togepis, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.